going to share my screen. So that's not going to work. Can Zoom, I think. Here we go. Now the recording's being going, and we're going to share the desktop. And it is Monday, as we already talked about. So good morning, everybody. And here we go. So thank you for joining us today for this spring update. And we were kind of sitting there and brainstorming and talking ONLC and Turtles Back, and we were just thinking, I think last year we connected with the group just kind of this way, just kind of bring you upcoming things that are coming. And we thought what a good opportunity to also bring on Turtles Back Publishing as well, and just give you guys a little bit of update of what's happening. So thank you for joining us today. And like I said, as we go through, if you have any questions, just let us know, and we will be happy to answer those questions as we go along. So what we're planning on doing today, it's like I said, we have a bit of a presentation prepared, but fairly informal too. We're going to do some introductions. We're going to do some e-channel updates from Good Learning Anywhere, and then we're going to have some updates from Turtles Back Publishing as well on some of the great work that's happening there. So I'm Linda Wright, and I'm with Good Learning Anywhere, and I'm happy to have Sue with me here today as well. She's here to help out and answer all the hard questions, because I just like the easy ones, and be able to provide insight on registrations and some of the courses that are coming up. Michelle's here with us from the Ontario Native Literacy Coalition, and Alexandra's here from Turtles Back Publishing as well. So I'm glad that everybody could join us today. So we're going to start with Good Learning Anywhere, and talk a little bit about who we are, blended learners, some of the stuff that's coming up for this summer, and how it might be of use to you in the planning that you're doing. We're going to talk about the iSteam project that we had with ONLC, some of the language classes that we're piloting with ONLC as well online, and a few tips for getting started. So I'm pretty sure that, as I go through the list, pretty sure everybody knows who Good Learning Anywhere is, but we are the e-channel lead for the Indigenous stream. So we're part of a group of 5 e-channel partners, and we work at delivering the Literacy and Basic Skills program online. So again, same mandates as you do as on-site, same paperwork that you guys have with the on-site programs, but our mandate's just to do it at a distance and to support learners that are in a program, as well as those that don't have access to a program across Ontario. So when the ministry is talking about those blended learners, this is a little image that we like to use. So those blended learners, and there's lots of definition of blended learning out there, but when we come to the ministry and that blended learning, it's those learners that are accessing an on-site program, as well as a program from the from e-channel, so those online programs. So the blended learning comes from there, and that's where the credit comes from as well when blended learning, when we're talking to the ministry. And that client is connected to the on-site program and connected to e-channel, but they could also be taking classes from home, because if they're taking classes from home, you're also supporting them that way as well in the community. So they could be accessing that course from anywhere, but as long as they're kind of got a connection to both the on-site and the e-channel, they're considered a blended learner. The biggest thing, and it's funny, I think probably about 10 years ago, we did a session on, I think it was called "We're Not Body Snatchers" or something. It was kind of back before the whole zombie phase, or right at the beginning of it. But it was that aspect that clients that learners don't have to choose between LBS and eChannel, that the ministry, there's a lot of confusion about that, oh, if I sign my learner up with eChannel, then we don't get credit for them, but it's actually both programs that get credit for them. So it's something that we're still trying to push out to the across the field, is that aspect of it's not one or the other, you can do both together. And what we'd like to just the spring update and what's happening with Good Learning Anywhere is we do push out these GLA this week for our live classes. And they're pushed out through Facebook, which is one of the main advertising places that we do, is on it talks about what the upcoming courses are. And so for this week, we actually have the Introduction to Gender Issues, which is actually a really great course designed by Diane from Thunder Bay. And that one is happening Tuesday at 1:30. And then we have a lot of great courses coming out this week. So we do push this out, and it's a great, easy way of kind of advertising. If you have a Facebook page for your center, it's easy to push that out. Just share it with your group. Take a snapshot, send it out in an email. If you have an email that you send out weekly to your clients, print it out, post it on your door as people come in. And it's a great way of getting the conversation going if someone's interested in something like that. The other thing is our newsletter. If you haven't signed up for it, it's on our website. And then we have course catalogs that could be downloaded as well. So it's, and we try to keep, those are up to date every term. And printing those out and having them be able to kind of refer to them is a great way of being able to have that information at your fingertips. I'm excited to tell you that our next upcoming sharing circle is going to be the first time GLA has had a hip hop artist as their guest, which we're excited about. So that is Monday, June the 6th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. And another great opportunity with our sharing circles, you don't have to be a registered learner with Good Learning Anywhere. You can sign up on our webpage. And we've had people use this as marketing with their own classes, is the aspect of, bring in some coffee and some Timbits and put a little screen up and broadcast it and have people come and join and see what online learning is about, which is really what our sharing circle, we wanted to have an opportunity for people to try online learning and see what it looks like before committing to taking the full class. And so this is a great opportunity, I think, to advertise your program, as well as come and hear it should be really exciting. I'm kind of excited about this one. Yeah, just to make sure, and if you have any questions about that, just make sure to let us know and we can definitely get you signed up for that. So coming summer and helping you guys plan, we don't have any live courses scheduled for the summer. Our independent courses are still available. So that's Moodle courses, Edmentum courses, and Spellzone. Mentors are still available to help select courses and support the learners. So all of the independent learning still happens. That being said, if you have a special need for a live course and you have a group of 10 or more that you are like, wow, we'd really like to have that, definitely reach out to Sue. She has the magic touch and is able to pull strings and sometimes get those pulled together and talk some instructors into teaching during the summer. So if there's a project or a special piece that you're looking for, please feel free to reach out to us. But we don't schedule any live classes in the spring. We will be having our fall schedule. Do you know when our fall schedule is going to be released, Sue?
It's not usually till late August is when our registration usually opens up.
Late August. Okay. So those will be coming out. And I think we have another session. We're going to plan like a fall kind of like session. I think it's early September, again, with ONLC, to kind of highlight what those courses are, the new courses that are coming, and just help give an idea of what's available online to help you guys plan your on-site programs and if there's anything you want to connect with. So keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely be pushing that out through Facebook and our newsletter as well. And then there's new courses. We have Healthy Living, the Benefits of Time Outdoors. So that's a Moodle course that's coming out, which has been, I think it opened in March, and we've got really good reviews on that so far. And we've also got an Anishinaabe for the Workplace as well, based on the success of the pilots we've had with ONLC and the language courses. One of the things, especially out of our Sulakot office, what people were asking for was just some workplace vocabulary to help in the workplace. So that is being launched, a soft launch in the summer. So we can get some feedback, and then it'll be, so look for that to come out, I think the end of June. And then it'll be part of our course catalog come the fall. So one of the projects that we were working with ONLC on this past year, and I see some familiar names here, so you're well aware of it, and you might be able to add to it, is the iSTEAM program. And so there are 5 courses that were developed by ONLC and in paper-based format. And we worked together to get them online last year into 5 online courses. So they're about 100 to 120 hours long. But what we've done is broken them up into components in Moodle. So, or we're working on it. Anybody that was part of the Intro to Digital Technology, you know that there was like, I think 800 activities in that one Moodle course, which was extremely long. And so what we've done, learned from that one, and we've broken the other ones into smaller modules. And so they might take about 20 hours to do a module, but then it's completed. It gives a sense of accomplishment to the client, and B, we know some people don't want to take the full course, they just want to take pieces of it. So we've broken that up a little bit and are launching that. And they are independent. There's no live components to it online. However, there is a great opportunity here because they follow the paper-based curriculum, and there's a lot of good hands-on activities within those, is to be able to really bring in that blended learning aspect and perhaps do some hands-on pieces around the courses if you had a group taking them or you had a couple learners taking them, but be able to kind of follow along and maybe add in some of the hands-on pieces. So they can be supported with on-site activities. The way these were built too, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to talk about the potential for high school credit.
Thanks, Linda. Each of the courses have been vetted by the Ministry of Education, and they qualify for, when completed in their entirety, for a credit. And we piloted it last year with 4 programs, and we had a coordinator working with them with a school board that I'm sure that each of you are probably affiliated with some kind of school board for some of your students. So we can also do that. So if you have a student who goes through and completes an entire course, which it has happened, then you can get in touch with me and I'll work with your school board to offer, to get that person a credit for that. Now, each of those courses, as Linda said, have been divided into smaller little Moodles, so that modules, I guess, so that if they're not wanting to complete the entire course, then you can complete, 1 or 2 modules, or 1 even. And maybe if you like it, they keep going and they do complete all of them. And if they do, then by all means, they should get a credit for it. And the whole idea is that a lot of our students that we get want to have their high school diploma. Some of the data that in our research that we did prior to this was that 10 years ago, the goal of the majority of our students was to be independent. And 10 years after, the goal is to complete their high school or to go on to post-secondary. So this is why we've created these things. So they're available to our students. There's 5 credits there if they do complete them. And it's a great opportunity for you to also use the blended learning format for you to do the activities, some of the activities within the classrooms themselves. The intent was to have them done in the classroom anyway, but thanks to Linda and her team, they were able to put them online, and I think it's really great, like that they were able to do that. So if you have any students who are interested, please just let us know. Like I said, we piloted it last year and people have completed and got credits. So, and it's open now to all of our programs or any program that wants to help their student out. So thanks, Linda.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it's been a great project. And if there's any questions about that, please make sure just to put them in text chat or feel free to raise your hand as we go through these. The one we did want to kind of highlight for the summer is the Let's Build a Sustainable Food System. So that one is, it's got broken down into 4 modules, and we just thought for the summer, it's great. It talks a lot about food. I don't know about you guys, but I planted my garden this past weekend, and my garden is very small, but it might be a good tie-in if there is a community garden available or something that people can, you could maybe tie it in somehow to that. So that one is available. And one of the other things that we want to talk about too was that aspect of if there is a course that you're like, think would be a good fit for your center and you want to advertise it, feel free to reach out to us and we can definitely put something together like this poster, and we can co-brand it and put your information on for them to contact you. So that's also something that we don't mind doing, especially for these iSTEAM programs, to help advertise, to help you guys have what you need to advertise them as well. So, but yes, that one's, it's a great course. I learned a lot just reviewing that course. So I encourage you to take a look at that one. I know that Gabby's going to talk more about the language classes coming up, but there was another pilot we did with ONLC over the last few years. And it's developed curriculum by ONLC, and then we coordinated the online pieces that we offered. And we offered them in Adobe Connect, but what we're going to be doing is offering them in Zoom. And we're going to be having it, we're looking at having Cayuga in the summer, and then Oneida either in the summer or fall, and then a look at doing the Mohawk level 1 and level 2 in the fall and winter. And then we do have another Moodle course, the basics course that we have in Moodle. We are looking at having some more live classes with Barb Nolan. We just don't have the dates on those yet. We're just finishing up that round here. So, but just for your planning pieces, if you're thinking about doing some language classes and don't have a fluent instructor to be able to do that, feel free to tie into these courses. And as we're able to put dates out and stuff like that, it's an opportunity to promote it. And again, an opportunity for some blended learning opportunities. If you have some learners that are taking it, you could also have like coffee time on Tuesdays or something, and everybody come in and practice what they learned that week or something like that. I don't know, I'm just throwing out some ideas, but I think that there's an opportunity there to also promote. And then build pieces on that as well within the program. So I'm just about done my part here, but I wanted to give a few tips for getting started for anybody that's new to eChannel and Good Learning Anywhere. Is feel free to give us a shout and preview a course. You can start with just one course or a bundle. I think we're up to about 30 Moodle courses, and then our live classes, and then Edmentum. There's a lot. So maybe there's a need in your on-site and you want to just pick that particular course and take a look at that and promote that. The other thing is that we do have bundles that kind of pick out 3 courses. So this is an example of the Employment Basics bundle. And that sometimes that's just a good place. You know, you have a lot of people coming in for employment. You want to have just advertise this or start with this. Just start with something small. Sue cleared her schedule today and was able to join me, and she's the person on the other end of the phone number for us. So feel free to give her a call or arrange a time to have a phone call with me and just ask questions and discuss and figure out what type of things, what kind of questions you have or how to start or that type of thing. Like, feel free to pick up the phone and give us a call about that, or email us. If you're going to start with a flexible learner. So we all have those learners that are gung-ho to try everything and are excited and enthusiastic, and start, you know, maybe they're the person to start with and say, hey, do you want to try an online course? Let's walk through this together, right? And that's also a good, is just to start with one learner and try to start implementing that blended learning there. And one of the easiest ways to advertise is the Facebook posts. Just share them out and say, you know, contact Melissa for more information, or you know, give Barb a call, or those types of things, in the aspect of being able to just share what's going on, bring them back to your center to help to register and make that part of their learning plan with you. And want to give Gabby lots of time to talk about the great stuff that's happening at Turtles Back. But if you have questions about registration, how to register, you have questions about CAMs, please feel free to stick around the presentation and we can take a look at that. Or if today's too tight for your schedule, feel free also just to give us a call and we can set up a Zoom session and walk through that. And those types of things. But I know that can be complicated. So just know that we're here to help you guys do that. So feel free to reach out to us about that. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Gabby.
Great, thank you, Linda. Good morning, everyone, again. So I know a lot of you already know a little bit about Turtles Back Publishing. Just want to say again, we were established in 2019, and prior to that, ONLC has been self-publishing curriculum and resources for the programs. And now with Turtles Back, we've done, I think, quite a bit more. And we've also spent 2019 kind of focusing on what we wanted to focus on. Well, we created our mission and our vision statement. And so you see this bullet list here. It's just dedicating our publications with Indigenous writers and artists to strengthen and amplify Indigenous knowledges across Turtle Island, and not just Ontario, and not just Canada, but Turtle Island. And all of our resources and curriculums are Indigenous themed focused, and all our Indigenous languages are for all level of learners. Next slide. So our resources and our curriculums, as many of the practitioners know, they are inclusive of the Ontario Adult Literacy Curriculum Framework, and they all have task-based activities and milestones. A lot of these curriculums, their milestones and task-based activities are accessible on our website, which, by the way, is still in the works of being revamped, and we'll have those available for practitioners. And then a lot of our pubs are for both practitioners and instructors, instructors, and learners. There's a holistic approach to understanding the OALCF in the view of the practitioner and as well as the learner, and there's resources that help practitioners work with elders and kind of include them into task-based activities. We have resources on that. I don't know if, oh, well, I'll just skip that. And then our curriculum and resources that we've recently created are introducing certain areas of learning, such as digital technology. It's a level 1 learner for learners who know nothing about a computer. So it kind of introduces you to a desktop, a laptop, the mouse, the keypad, and so on. And then we have a level 2, which is introduction to digital software, which is another step into understanding digital technology, creating emails, writing emails, social media, all those types of accounts, as well as Microsoft Word and Adobe, just using those and getting familiar with that. And there's a lot of hands-on activities for your learners as well in those curriculums. Then we have I know all of you are familiar with our In Memory of Feast, Memories of Residential School Survivors. And last year we had Judy Rubin, who's the author of that book, create a curriculum on a GED English focused. And so if you have a learner that's working towards their GED degree, GED certificate, they can take this, and it's pretty much based on the GED requirements of the English and writing skills section. And we also have, we kind of stretched it where we went into Indigenous sports and games, because after a lacrosse book, this was something we wanted to continue. And the Indigenous sports and games is one of our newest curriculums, and it's introduces all the games and sports across Turtle Island. And our writer research, so he has a little story on them, and then there's activities for the learners. So I know every year we send out our new publications, and we did send out our first book catalog, and this year we'll have a new one ready for that. And so if you ever have any questions or want to see what a curriculum has, just kind of like a preview of it, feel free to reach out and look at our table of contents and even the task-based activities to see if it will fit your program's courses. Next slide. All right, then we have the math curriculums and financial literacy resources. So all of our math curriculums are to build confidence and understanding of financial literacy and basic mathematics. In 2019, we developed I had it here, FLAME, which is Financial Literacy Workbook for Indigenous Stream Adult Learners. And it's a workbook that introduces finances, teaches you the responsibility of money, money handling, lending money, borrowing money, and as well as, like, you know, when you're on this verge of, okay, I need money quickly, there's those quick hand loaners, and that was there's an activity in there on, like, is that a good idea, or here's what could happen. And then as well as gambling and windfalls, and writing checks, understanding your invoices, understanding your bill statements. So that's kind of for, I think, really good for every learner. It just builds that type of financial literacy confidence. And then we have our introduction, our numeracy at work workbooks. And this is based off of, the idea was based off of another curriculum done in the previous years through another publishing house. And they did them for ONLC as well. So we just renamed them, and we studied what was popular as far as apprenticeship and trades goes across Ontario, and we focused them on a specific math. So like the cooking book is focused on proportions and ratios, and welding is on measurements. So it really goes and introduces the basic understanding of that certain area of math. And then you'll see that it'll go from a level 1, and then as the chapters goes on, there's 10 lessons in each one. And so by the 10th one, you should be at a level 2 understanding of that certain area. And then this year, we are, well, it's still in the works. We have a introduction to, I'm calling it Introduction to College Level Mathematics. And that is for when you're in a trades, you need a certain university or grade credit. And this would kind of help you receive that credit, if that's kind of my understanding, but this is a little more intense math. It's got algebra, geometry, fractions. It goes really high into the level 2, level 3 mathematics. Next slide. And now our language curriculum and readers. So when ONLC first started, they started creating the daughter, sister, mothers, and wives workbooks. And they're little readers, as you see on the very bottom. That's the Anishinaabe reader. So we have them all in the Haudenosaunee languages, including Wyandotte, then Anishinaabe North, Central, and I think just Anishinaabe. And then we have Cree, a Cree reader, and that's based off the, I think it's the Northeastern Ontario Cree. And there's several dialects I'm learning of the Cree language. And these ones just introduce your basic, just kind of introduces the language, not your alphabets for 1, 2, 3, etc. It's more of a hearing how the language sounds, listening to the Thanksgiving address, the songs, some sayings, greetings. And then there's a CD component to it, so you're not trying to read it yourself. And then I think this is for more of a level 1 learner where you're wanting to hear it. And then we've got the level 1, a beginner's Mohawk language course. That one's been with GLA since 2019. And we have the Anishinaabe reader of the Anishinaabe language course as well. And those are all level 1s. And this is more of an intense course where you're introduced to the language, to the phrases, trying to find the right word, to the parts of speech, like the articles, noun, adjectives, pronouns, prepositions, grammatical structures, and understanding words and phrases. So it's a little more intense. They all have 10 courses in them, and they are offered as pilot courses with GLA, so you'll get more information on that. And then this year we also are doing a level 1 Cayuga language and then a level 1 Oneida. And those ones should be offered in, we're hoping, the summer or fall. And a level 2 Mohawk language course. And we're also getting a level 2 Anishinaabe language course developed as well. And then in the center, you'll see the special frog. So this is when we start reaching into readers where it's not curriculum or resource based, it's more of just like a story. And so this is a short story written by our Michelle Davis. And it's been translated in 5 different languages. So we've got Mohawk, Cayuga, Tuscarora, Seneca, Cree, 6, so and Anishinaabe right now. And we are getting audio developed for them to go along with their books, but it's all completely in the language. And it's cute, and I like this because then it kind of helps the learner start to phrase sentences or to actually understand, like, oh, okay, I can piece the words together and start to form and understand what they're reading. Okay, and then what's upcoming? So this year we developed food handlers and smart serve curriculum. So it's just a prep curriculum. It introduces the understanding of what you need to know about food handlers, about smart serve, and just customer service requirements. And it prepares you to take the certificate course, the online course. And there's small activities in there as well. And then I spoke about the introduction to college mathematics. The title is to be determined. We're hoping to get that finished soon. It's very intense. I would like to work with some of the practitioners when it is ready to be printed. I would like to work with some of the practitioners to see if they would like to pilot the curriculum in their own programs, just to see if they have anything that they would like to change or suggest as well, because I think there should be some type of mathematical understanding with this curriculum. As a practitioner, you should have some type of background or at least be prepared. And then we have an intro to health sciences that's coming soon, and that's just the basics of health science. That's still in the works. I'm hoping that we have something by the fall. And then again, we have the Oneida level 1, Cayuga level 1, and Mohawk level 2 of the language curriculum courses. And Anishinaabe level 2 will be hopefully available. And then again, we are going to create another book catalog, which will go out to all of you. And I did see, I think it was Niagara Regional, their weekly activities, and they had some upcoming events, and 2 of them kind of struck out to me. And it was one on financial literacy and one on GED, and I'm like, I hope they're using our resources. And so that again is just like, practitioners, if you have a course that you're going to host for your learners, remember that we have some curriculum that you can use. And we do give everyone a copy of each one. And then if you do need to reorder some more prints, we have an ONLC discount. And if you don't have that, just email me and I'll send that to you as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, there's such great stuff coming out. Every time you mention the stuff that's coming out, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So it's always good to hear what's coming out and what you guys are working on, because I know that it's quite a how long would you say it takes from like an idea up to when you actually get the book out or the paper based out?
We're constantly thinking of ideas. So we'll write it down, and then when it's finally time to sit down and say, okay, what are we going to do for next year? That's when the thinking starts. And then by March, we should already have somebody in mind who might want to do the curriculum or the resource. And then it's just finding the person and having them agree, and then having them deliver, deliver the product. It's just quite a process, and I'm learning that some of the larger readers that we've been doing might be taking longer and should be taking more than a year, but I'm very proud of the curriculum and the resources that our contributors have done for us.
Oh, that's great. I know it's such a long time. I know that we're just going through that right now in the aspect of for GLA, our cycle is kind of, we start to really brainstorm on ideas about it once we hit March, April. And then typically we do a lot of development over the summer. So it's always interesting to, hear from, I don't know about you, but for us, it's always interesting to hear from programs on what they need and what ideas they have. And they can always reach out to us and just send us an email saying, hey, we did send out a survey this year for people to do that. But if you ever coming across and you're like, this would be very interesting to have, to always feel free to reach out to us. Is that the same for you guys? Are you guys looking for ideas constantly from programs too? Or like if someone had an idea, could they send it to you?
I'm always open to suggestions with the practitioners. Jake is probably the only person that ever talks about ideas. And we do send out a survey. Unfortunately, we get like a very short response from our practitioners, and I wish that they would, kind of respond to us, because that does help Turtles Back, not just ONLC, but us to get started on ideas. And we would just really appreciate any feedback or any brainstorm ideas of what curriculums you want to see in your center, because these curriculums aren't specifically for everyone. they're first and foremost for our programs, and then everyone else can see what we got going on. But really, we're servicing our ONLC programs.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's good. And they would reach you on the contact. Do I have the right contact for you on the slide?
Yes, you do. Yeah,
Perfect.
and that's a good idea. Linda, thank you. That you send out a survey too, and if I need your help, I can just reach out to you.
Yeah, we should have coffee sometime and sit down and discuss all the ideas, because I know we can't go with all of ours that we get, or that like we get, and I'm sure you get a lot of ideas too, and maybe some would work better online and some would work better paper-based. So
Mhm.
we'll have to do that soon.
And it'd be really exciting to see more digital curriculum. We've not really done that. And
Yeah.
so it hasn't been, without your help, we wouldn't have seen that, or some of our curriculums become digitized. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're really enjoying working with you guys, because there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and I think it's been a good partnership so far. So anyway, we'll continue to look for ideas from the field for both Turtles Back Publishing and Good Learning Anywhere, and I think you said it well in the aspect of that's why we're here, is for the field, both the programs, and trying to make sure that we're making your job easier. So I've got Alexandra's contact information there for her, and ours is on the left-hand side, and that phone number will take you directly to Sue. And Sue is Sue at shlc.ca if you're looking for her. She does the registrations and the questions and the live classes and all of that type of stuff. But I encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter and find us on Facebook. But the other thing we started, and we just turned a year old, actually, we had our anniversary for this, is a podcast. And if you haven't listened to a podcast yet, I was fairly new to them as well. Is they're a great thing to put on while you're driving in the car, or you're cutting the grass, or doing something and just having a good listen. I know Sue has been a guest on our podcast, as well as Alexandra, and it's so you can go back and find those. You can find them on Spotify, is where I listen to mine, or feel free to go to Facebook and link to the podcast there as well. So if you're interested in hearing, we've had Robin Cook Ritchie on there. We've had all sorts of interesting guests to talk about all sorts of things in LBS over the past year. So please find us and listen to it if you're interested in podcasts. And how did we do for time here? We still have time for questions. So we really wanted to reach out to the field and just see, let you guys know what was going on in the program, in the e-channel, as well as Turtles Back Publishing, and also a chance to ask any questions that you guys might have. And so I will open it up. The text chat is open. And if there's any questions that you guys have with regards to it, we can also go and look at things if we need to. Do a screen share if there's questions you have about courses or registrations or curriculum. And this is where I get crickets. We get these in our meetings all the time too. Put everybody on the spot, which I don't mean to. But I hope that you guys know that please feel free to reach out to us. We really want to hear what you guys need, or questions that you guys do have. I don't know if it means we did a great job or we really confused you if there's no questions at the end of the session, but we're certainly glad that you guys took some time to join us today. Oh, Nancy says it means that we did a great job. There we go. Thanks, Nancy. We can always count on you. Appreciate that. But feel free to reach out. And we do appreciate you spending some time with us today. Like I said, we'll be planning another one of these for the fall. And we'll send notices out about that, and invite you to come and hear about what's available for the fall, and updates on where the curriculum's at, and update on new online classes as well. So thank you very much, everybody. And we will stick around. I'm going to stop sharing and stop the recording. But if you do have any questions and want to stick around, we're here. Otherwise, please enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you for joining us. Michelle, did you want to say anything to wrap us up?
I couldn't find where to unmute me. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. It was filled with lots of information, and I'm still kind of like writing things down because, yeah, we really need to collaborate more. We all have lots of learners, and we're all trying to make them all successful as well. So maybe if we work together and like all of our groups will eliminate this the illiteracy and the Indigenous stream altogether. Let's work ourselves out of a job. Wouldn't that be great?
I always said that's kind of the end goal for literacy, right? That would be great. If we were so successful, none of us would be employed.
That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yep, absolutely.